Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are in the world. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we celebrate and honor elevated listening. Our show today is the art of creating mental health wealth, and our topic is how music and volunteering can impact men's mental health. The star of our show is JENETTA Barry and the Epiphany Process. And JENETTA has been on a roll this week. I can't remember how many shows she's been on, but she did the Spelling Bee and A Woman's Prerogative. She's a big part of everything we stand for here, which is education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Let's bring her out and find out what she's up to, and then we'll bring out our guest for the day. Welcome, JENETTA Barry. Hello.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, everybody. A big welcome to our viewers and listeners, returning or long-standing. And today's program is very, very close to my heart. And Dr. Jacalyn and I just felt that as we get closer to these holiday festivities, a lot of people feel compromise. So today's show is talking about men's mental health as we careen towards this weekend, which can be quite daunting for some people. So it's with great honor and pleasure that we have this guest here today, Dr. Jacalyn. And I thought before we introduce our guest, I'd give you a bit of background into what's happening at this time of year. It would appear that September and October is a really difficult time of the year for a lot of people all around the world. And then the next time is over these holiday seasons. And just doing some research before this show just about blew my brain around, because I just pulled up suicides in England, because our guest is from England today. But suicides in England, obviously 2022 stats aren't out yet, but the 2021 stats are 5,219 suicides in England, not UK, in England alone. And out of those 5,219, 3,852 were men. That's staggering. And the age groups with the highest suicide rate per 100,000, males 22.5% and females 7.6%. And you know, so often men feel they have to step forward and keep a stiff upper lip and be the strong one and be the one that can never ever crack or appear to be anything less than perfect and strong. And that's a lot of stress and strain on a man to keep that up, because it's not human. And so that's why I feel so strongly today that we talk about ways to lift this time when it can be quite difficult and daunting. And so I am delighted to be able to introduce our guest today. He is a record producer. He is a composer and a lyricist as well. And he comes from having worked very closely with somebody else who's very close to our hearts, and that's BB Phoenix, who we interviewed a few weeks ago. BB was on our Jenny's Day, performing there, and then she came through and spoke a couple of weeks ago, and she has stepped forward and said, you have got to speak to Kelvin. So Kelvin Hallam As I mentioned, producer, record producer, lyricist, composer. He's brought out a record that is very much about this. But I'm going to actually bring him up so he can talk more about this. And Dr. Jacalyn, it's with great pride that I introduce you to, and to our viewers and listeners, Kelvin Hallam. Kelvin, welcome today.
Welcome to the show.
How are you both?
Hi, it's nice to see you. And JENETTA, I just wanted to say those statistics are really alarming. It's really something that needs to be addressed. So I'm glad that we're discussing this topic today. Kelvin, tell us a little bit about your journey in the music industry and how it's aligned with mental health wellness.
So in short terms, I started my music background about 5 years ago now. About 7 years ago, I tried taking my own life. I was in really dire situation within myself. And through the therapy I received, I started writing journals, which is one way of coping. So that progressed then onto songwriting. So yeah, it's just took a massive full circle.
Wow. So if we were to step back into that journey, I mean, what got you through from that feeling of wanting to take your life? What were the steps that you took that enabled you to step beyond that and do something as meaningful as you have?
So basically, from that moment, I had this really great guy who works within mental health at the hospital, or he used to. He doesn't work there now because he lives in Denmark. But he took the time to actually listen to me and basically listen to how I was feeling at that time when nobody else would, and when I couldn't confide in like friends or family, because you get ashamed as a man to admit that you need help. And I think that's the most important piece and strength that I could take from that is I was able to ask for that help, even in that dark moment when I was on my way to hospital, and I said to my mum and my dad at the time, like, I need to get sorted now, because if I don't, I'm not going to be here in 10 years' time. And luckily, I am here now. And through that journey, I've been writing music, and then it's gone on to learning how to play piano and guitar. And that's come from watching Ed Sheeran, Anne-Marie, big stars like that, to give me some sort of focus and something to look up to. And their songs really inspired me to create something similar, but not exactly the same, because the music I want to create is specifically around mental health. So turning something bad into like the opposite, into something really amazing and good, is just therapy in itself. And music therapy is honestly the best therapy anyone could ever go through and have. So that's how I started it.
Kelvin, thank you so much for being so honest and transparent about your story and coming forward so that you can help other people. What would you say is the biggest difference between how you feel inside, how you feel emotionally today, than how you felt 7 years ago?
So I would say the difference is over the last few years, I've learned of a positive way to deal with my emotions. So like now, I've got this wonderful stress ball provided from the NHS. And whenever you get stressed or anxious, I just pick this up because it's nice and easy, and you can take it with you to shops or anywhere. Whereas before, I'd be itching my arms a lot and scratching and doing really negative physical things to myself, which only puts you in even more of a mess.
Okay. And did you, how did you change that internal conversation inside yourself? What did you do to start having a different conversation of, I want to stay on the planet, and I want to do something meaningful? What did you do to make that happen?
So I took a lot of time out for myself. Went and did some therapy. Had a lot of therapy sessions from people trained in CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy, for those that don't know. And that's about opening up and basically talking more, which is, in essence, what you need to do, but you don't realise you need to do it at the time because you just get stuck in that one dark hole and you can't see either side of it, which way to go. So that's the biggest thing that I took from it. I actually started off listening to music because my therapist said that's a good way of soothing and relaxing yourself at night. I was having trouble sleeping and everything, so I started doing that, and I just, honestly, it's the best thing I've ever done, going to the therapist and learning all these brilliant techniques, because out of it has become my music, which is my day-to-day thing now, which is, I would never have thought I would be doing anything like this. 10 years ago, I was all about sports. So to be doing music is completely different.
Yeah, I love that. As you know, Dr. Jacalyn, and possibly you might know, Kelvin, I'm passionate about us stepping back into our creativity. Excuse me. Back into our creativity, because we're all part of the creation that the Creator created, and we're creatures of that creation. So being creatures of the creation means that our very inherent being is about creativity. And as much as sports and academics are very vital and very helpful, often they're not quite as creative as the creative arts can be. And when you're in that zone, a different type of energy and a different type of brain rewiring starts happening. And that's when new conversations of possibilities start coming out. So I wanted to ask you, did you have nothing to do with any type of music or composing or anything until this happened?
Funnily enough, it's always been a part of my family's sort of trait, if you like. My mum's side of the family, my auntie used to play the organ at church. My brother, he did DJing, so he did a lot of gigs around that. But prior to this, I've not had any sort of experience or dealings with it.
Okay.
That is truly amazing. I love stories when people share about they walk through a door they'd never been through before, and on the other side is this incredible awakening, not just for yourself, Kelvin, but for all the people who enjoy your music. So I think that's fantastic. A question I have for you, something that we've discussed on this platform many times, we even have a show in regards to it called Wild at Heart, is the fact that men either don't feel comfortable sharing their feelings, or they don't feel safe with someone with whom they can share it. And you alluded to that a little bit earlier. What do you think is the foundation for that men are not able to share, or they don't feel comfortable sharing?
I think that stems from quite many years ago, quite a few years ago. It used to be sort of clout and dagger mental health in itself, and it was always the men that was the bread and butter for the family. I know my brother as well, he's had mental health issues himself, and it's just one of the worst things anyone can go through, not just for a man to go through, but I think it makes it a lot worse because you're that person who other people come to for support.
Yeah, I like that. The perception is that you're the person other people come to for support, and I think that's a very valid statement. It's a very powerful statement as you stop and go, really? So where's the
Yeah.
time for me to be a human and not be the one that can be approached, and I need to approach somewhere else? So Kelvin, do you go out and help others with this, to help them to understand they don't need to be so brave and courageous and strong 100% of the time?
So my mum's a mental health first aider at work, and obviously me being through what I've been through, I've got all the mental health helpline numbers. So I always share them with her, and just anyone who asks for them, really. I don't actively go out and sort of preach it, but I'm involved in a football group purely based around mental health, which is such an amazing group, and it's not just for men either. There is women there that take part, and it's like an extended family. So that's what I basically do. I go around and make sure these support groups in the communities get the right people to them in their time of need.
And Kelvin, what does that do for you when you're being aware and you're looking out for others? What does that do for you? How does that assist you, or does it?
So it gives me a great sense of purpose and also joy when I see them taking a positive path rather than the negative path, which is quite easily done. It is getting more well known that men's health in England is needed more support in. So that is one thing I am trying to champion in Lincolnshire. So it's just hard, really. But yeah, anyone that's struggling at all is more than welcome to email me, and I will try and offer support and also refer on to relevant services if needed.
Kelvin, thank you so much for putting that offer out there. We have your email address right here on the screen. I'll just read it for people. It's KHALLAM95@gmail.com. The question I have for you, based on your personal experience and also the experience working with others, and JENETTA, I'll put this to you as well, is those feelings that you had 7 years ago, do they go away completely? Or because you've learned certain techniques, you know how to keep them at bay, but do those feelings ever come back?
That is one question I absolutely love to hear, because a lot of people do think it's like having knee surgery, for example. You go to your operation, you get fixed up, plastered up, and then have physio, and then it's over. 7 years on, I do still get those low moods and down, depressed times, but it's how I manage them now compared to how I managed them before, which is making the real difference to me. and I'm putting all of that energy now into the volunteer work that I do.
Thank you for your honesty on that. I appreciate it. I was thinking that for someone who hasn't contemplated suicide, but who has felt low feelings, they do come back. And sometimes you don't expect them, but then the holiday time, for example, Jeanette, we were discussing that earlier. And it's a matter of knowing how to address it, knowing what to do.
Yeah, there's there's a cafe type thing for mental health, and we call it Bean Cafe locally, and it stands for better engagement around mental health. So we've called it Bean Cafe, and it's just been amazing. It's not even been open a full year yet, but already we're seeing a really sharp increase in a lot of men coming through that can't see the children and are having a really bad time of it through that. And it's knowing how to engage with them to make sure that they stay well, so that when they can see them, they're in the best shape possible.
So, Kelvin, is this a virtual meeting place or an actual meeting place in the city?
So it's actual meeting. The ones we have in my town is at the St. Boltoff's Church Stump. Call it Stump for short. And then there's another one at the Black Sluice Cottages also. But it's not just in this area, it's going county and UK wide now, where they're having these nightlife cafes, as it call them. So they offer a non-clinical support side for mental health for anyone in it.
So am I correct in saying that if I, as a man, am feeling overwhelmed at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm able to go through to that cafe and have a cup of coffee in any time of the night and not feel alone?
Yeah, wow. Yeah. There is some areas that do it slightly differently. It's each to their local needs, basically. And we've managed to bring healthcare back to being localised for the community more, which is partly volunteering that I've been doing recently, the last few months. Well, years now, last 2 or 3 years, we've managed to get all the local support from the healthcare system back into local community.
I so like the idea of that. I think that that's a wonderful global idea, because so often it's that 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning syndrome where you feel so it appears as though one is so isolated from the world and that nobody will ever understand you, that if you know you can reach out and it's not just a phone call, it's actually a physical meeting with someone, so you feel supported and understood.
There is some areas where they do offer both, so it really is just depending on the actual need for it within that community, but they are definitely there, and I can send the links after the show as well.
Could be great.
Fantastic. I'd love to have a conversation about your music. And for people who haven't heard it yet, how would you describe your music?
Very up and down, like life, pretty much. I would say the latest that I've done is quite a chilled dance vibe to it. Don't know how to describe it other than that.
What genre would you say it is?
I would say it's like a dance / funk type music, but then I've done other pieces of music, and it's just completely different genres. It's honest. It depends on how my mood is at the time as to what I'm creating.
Okay, and Get Out of My Face, which is your is it your latest that you've brought
Yeah.
out for people suffering from depression and suicidal ideation? Tell us more about that.
So basically, the title idea came from like hearing voices in your head and having like you feel like people are physically up in your face, even when they're not. You just feel like the walls are closing in too much, and it's about just shutting them out and palming them off and out of the way.
And you find that the singing of that helps you and possibly others to do that through the song.
Yeah, that's the main aim of the future releases. It'll be purely around my own mental health experiences, but hopefully other people can relate to it themselves and feel like they can just gain some perspective that they're not alone in that moment.
And Kelvin, I'd love to hear more about your journey into music in terms of what did you actually have to go through to get to where you are? We know there's so many people who are creatives, and it's a difficult journey, and there's a lot of rejection, a lot of we're not interested, not now. And I would love if you could just share a little bit about how your journey was.
Okay, so I haven't gone through such the same processes as BB has. Mine's been more of a gradual projection. Like now, I'm not on social media at the minute, and purely honestly think that also harms people's mental health. So that's something else that I hope will make me unique in the future, that I'm going against the grain of everything. And I'm not there to sort of advertise social medias in any way, shape or form if we can help it. YouTube and WhatsApp is about as much as they go. So, but no, the way I got through it was I did a lot of self-help videos off YouTube, especially during lockdowns. They was a godsend. I was just so bored, as many people was. And then I found a music tutor online, and he's been helping me find my confidence for my singing. And then it's just gradually grown from singing to then producing the music as well with him, with his help. And I have had a few songs come back and they've been really positive feedback. And then I've also had one or two that's not so great, but it's things to work on, and I see it as a positive feedback rather than a negative now.
And Kelvin, one thing that I hear coming up again and again, and I hope our audience is also getting this, is the fact that you reached out to someone, in this case, a music tutor, before that therapist, you reached out and said, I need some help. I want to learn. I want to grow. And I want our audience to realize that we don't have to do everything ourselves. And if we put energy into something and it's not manifesting the way we like it to be, there are plenty of people out there with expertise who are where you want to go. You just have to reach out. And sometimes it's easy to find the right person, and other times you have to go from one to the next until you find what is a good fit. How important was that, or is that relationship with this tutor for the success that you've had?
So I think it's a massive 95% proportion of having that good working relationship, and having that honesty as well of and being able to listen to the honesty as well is also just as important as just taking it, basically. But without him, I wouldn't have got this far. So I just wanted to give him a big shout out because I know he's watching this.
Kelvin, what I'm hearing from you is that when you got past that an initial hiatus, that you've gone into a zone where you're prepared to listen to positive construction from this person. And also in the, when I say positive, constructive advice, that's what I'm trying to spit out, constructive advice. And also within the record industry, where what I heard was when you didn't have positive feedback, you've now been able to work out how that positive feedback is serving you. Am I correct? And has served you?
Yes, most definitely. That. Yeah, I actually auditioned for the Voice UK, and it's such a big show with such wide variety of contestants, and I managed to get all the way until before the studio sessions, because you have about 3 or 4 auditions before you get on to the TV. And the main thing I took from that is I took a song of a lady that was really high pitched, and I just can't make it my own because my vocals won't get there. So I made sure every song that I do cover now, I make sure that it's within my vocal range or just above or just below, and then let it sound right.
So, and this is exactly what I was talking about to a group of people I was presenting to earlier this week, which is when you are faced with that overwhelm, being able to find out what that overwhelm is giving you, and what you're getting out of what isn't working. Because when we're in, and I really relate to this, because Dr. Jacalyn will tell you the number of times I've told people I nearly ended my life 3 times after I lost my daughter, as this close, especially the 3rd time, this close. It took a phone call that stopped it. And I'm not suicidal. But when I was able to start changing that inner conversation about there's no other options, and this is the lot, and I cannot see how this can help me, and you get stuck in that, excuse the pun, that stuck record. When you get stuck there and you're not able to see the benefits of being stuck there and the benefits of what's going to come out of that. And what I'm hearing from you is that was a very significant set of steps you've taken to shift and change your life. And that can make such a difference to so many of our viewers and listeners today.
The one thing that I've took from the whole experience was when I sat down with the crisis worker at the hospital, and it's the best analogy anyone's ever given me. Life's full of speed bumps and roadworks. It's how you get around them which matters, and get towards your end goal. And that will always stick with me, and hopefully that will resonate with someone watching.
Absolutely.
Not hopefully, definitely. It definitely will.
Definitely. And I think also this happens during this time of year, as we were discussing, but it's not just one thing that can trigger someone. It seems like it's a whole pile of things that just one on top of the other, whether it's health related, financially, career, loneliness. And I love what you've shared today, because again, it's not about having to do all the work yourself. It is work, obviously.
Yeah.
is work, but there are other people who have gone through something similar and come out the other side. And so I just really applaud you for doing the work that you're doing and volunteering and helping other people. And we've got a comment here from LME.
That's my music teacher.
Hello, nice to have you with us. Kelvin is such a positive human being with great ambition and inspiration. Well, kudos to you for helping him get his creative genius out for the world.
Absolutely. I just love it.
Yeah,
It's very
much,
heart-opening. Very heart-opening.
For sure. So, Kelvin, for people who want to hear your music, they want to experience it, we've got some links, but can you share a little bit with our audience?
Yes, I can. If you go on to Amazing Radio, and there's a UK and US version, and I got to play from these. Get out of my face.
So we've got this link here for Amazing Radio, and if you can, for people watching, you can click onto it. For people who can't see the banner, can they just go to amazingradio.us and find it?
Yes, they can. If you go on there and then just type my name in, they'll find my profile on there with the release single on there. And if they download it as well, that'd be much appreciated, because the more downloads you get, the more, well, I wouldn't say the money, because the money is going towards mental health charity. So every song I produce, it all goes towards a mental health charity in some way.
Wow, how magnanimous of you. That's amazing.
And I'd like to just plug, I'm doing a co-release with BB Phoenix for a mental health song purely about mental health as its entirety, and that will be released 10th of Feb.
Excellent. Will that be on Amazing Radio as well?
Yep, that'll be on everywhere and anywhere.
All right. You said February 10th?
Yep, Friday, 10th of February, 2023.
Congratulations. That's super exciting.
We're looking forward to it. As we speak now, she's doing the vocals, so I'm just waiting for her to finish them off, and then I can work my magic and get it radio ready for all the radio stations to play and people to download and stream. And hopefully it will help a lot of people.
What's it feel like to have a collaboration like that as opposed to just creating by yourself?
It's really awesome to share and bounce ideas off. We share the same passions as well, which is also another great feature, and that can really help the process and make it a lot easier to navigate.
And then it's also fun to experience the success and the joy that is related to that. That's amazing too.
Definitely. We was hoping you'll have us both on it as a joint collab before our release.
We would love that. We'll have you here and also on the
wonderful
film and music show with Dr. Chan. Jeanette, you can join us too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, Kelvin, one of the things I do want to, and I know Dr. Jacalyn touched on it at the beginning, but it was very clear to me as you started on this interview today, how much it has taken for you to step up and be here with us today. I could sense it. I could feel it. It took a lot of guts and courage to try and flow with a subject that doesn't flow very easily for so many, and especially men. And I want to say, and as I've watched you during this interview, you've started relaxing and it's flowed more and more and more. And for me, the message here is that there are many Kelvins out there around the world going, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be like him. And yet you are like them, and they'll be able to say, well, if he's doing it, I can do it. And because it's easy for somebody who's trained in this work to step forward and look as though they've got it all together, and secretly most of the time they don't. But just
so true.
letting you know.
So true.
But for you to be able to step forward and talk the way you have today, it's not like you've come with a polished script, a polished way. So many men are. No, I promise you, the way you've come today is going to help so many people out there going, but he is just so like me. And if he can do it, there's hope. There's some way forward I can find. And I'm really, and I know I'm speaking for Dr. Jacalyn, we're really grateful that you've taken the courage to be able to step forward and get through those initial difficult steps as we started. Well done, you.
Yeah, I appreciate for you having me on the show and being able to do a discussion like this. So hopefully it does inspire other men to step forward and just ask for help. Then that's the hardest part over. The rest of it's you just swim through it.
And I'd also like to just add on to what JENETTA said. I feel that the first time a person comes forward on this platform and shares their story and they start to open up more and more, then it makes sense to come back again and again and again, because those first time butterflies, for example, they sort of subside, and then you can really enjoy yourself in sharing.
That hit me like 2 minutes before. Press the click button to join.
It's interesting.
I could see it. I was watching you.
This week so far, we've had 3 people who it was the first time they were coming on to share their story, and they were related to mental health issues. And I saw the exact same thing, very tight. And then by the time the show is like, no, it's not over yet.
Well, that's why I brought this along with me as well. So.
Well done, you. Very well done.
But no, thank you very much for both your times.
Thank you. So I'm going to spotlight you. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, JENETTA. I'm going to spotlight you again. And if you can just share whatever message you have for people who are where you were or going through something difficult, and then how can they reach out to you if they can't read the banner here?
Okay. So if you are struggling out there at all, maybe you can phone someone, like a charity. That's how I got my first help, through a mental health charity. They was absolutely brilliant. And it's easy to talk to people you don't know sometimes. I know it was for me to start with. I absolutely hated talking and expressing my feelings. So yeah, even just drawing them on a piece of paper or scribbling on a piece of paper how you're feeling, just get it out of your system in a positive environment, and make sure you surround yourself by people if you can. And the way you can also contact me is through the YouTube channel, which is Kelvin Hallam, and also you can email at khallam95@gmail.com. So yeah, they're the main ways you can contact me if you need any support or direction. In whichever way, I will try my utmost best to help anyone. So,
Kelvin, thank you for that. I'm going to put up this comment again from your music tutor. Let's give your music tutor a little plug. How can people reach out? I guess LME.
Yeah, LME education is absolutely out of this world, and he is really flexible with lessons. His email is I'll restart that again. markperformanteach@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. Mark, could you please put your information into the comments? That would be great. And the services that you offer so that our audience can reach out to you as well. We would really appreciate that.
I would definitely recommend that man to anyone.
It would be nice to have
gracious.
him as well. To have him as well come and chat with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll
talk about that too.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Yes. So we just need your contact information. If you can drop it right here, that would be great. And something that I want to share, and you know this, JENETTA, is Dr. Madeline Chan, who's one of our team members. She reached out to me and said, I think there's a singer inside of you. And I said, well, I've always dreamed of being a singer, but it's ridiculous. I could never. And by taking vocal lessons, I realized that I had really repressed my feminine energy, and that I was always in my male energy, which I still am a lot of the time, but I'm highly aware of the fact that I need to be in touch with the feminine energy. And that's helped me through my creative process. So I just put that out there for people. You don't even know what you don't know until you work with somebody who is an expert in these fields. So please do reach out.
Yeah. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have even imagined picking up a guitar or piano. So it's just truly amazing to be in this position now.
Wow.
Well, we're very happy for you. So keep putting all that beautiful content out there, and come back and see us again. And maybe another great show would be you and your music tutor together. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'm sure we could fix that up.
Fantastic.
I've actually got a lesson with him later on after this as well, which is even funnier.
It's all timing. Well, we welcome you back. We welcome him back welcome him as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Have a
Lots
great
of
Christmas.
Love. Thank you.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy
Bye-bye.
New Year. See ya.
Bye. Oh, that was lovely, JENETTA. Thank you so much for bringing Kelvin to the platform.
Well, we can thank BB Phoenix. She actually approached me and said, I think he would be a really great addition to what we're putting out there. And she wasn't wrong. I'm so glad we made it happen today. So thank you, everybody. BB, you, Dr. Jacalyn, Kelvin, this show. I'm just so grateful we can expand all this with open hearts.
I am too. And Mark is happy to do it. So that's brilliant.
Fabulous, Mark.
Kelvin has left the studio. Can you just type in the comments how people can reach out and hire you? Whatever your contact information is, that would be fantastic. JENETTA, something I want to say as we close out, which I think is essential when you think about mental health, is how this platform has grown. If you think about how I met you, okay, we were introduced by Ian and Helena. Ian reached out to me. I didn't know him. Then you have reached out to BB, and then BB reached out and so on and so on and so on. And I think that is what is so incredible when you have the mindset to put the ego aside and lead with your heart and say, I'm going to reach out to someone else and help someone, offer help. And you don't know where it's going to go. But when we think to ourselves, I'm not good enough, I have nothing to share, who would want to hear from me? How could I help anyone? That's from our insecurity. That's from fear. That's from ego. But from the heart, when it's like, I am not thinking about me, I'm thinking about you. And then beautiful things start to happen. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. It's one of the first things I say to people who are feeling compromised before they even get into working the epiphany process with me is when you reach out to somebody else and start seeing from not just within, because we implode, we turn within and we implode. And the moment we start turning out again, that's already a big step when you start seeing that or hearing or noticing that the 3 words you just said, the person went, oh, wow, that makes so much sense. And you go, oh, I'm not so boring, or I'm not so stupid, or I'm not so So the moment you step outside yourself, that's already a magnificent, huge big step on the journey of getting to bring all your thoughts and your feelings into a place of open-hearted manageability.
I totally agree with you, JENETTA. Thank you so much. JENETTA, what do you have going on, and what's the value that you can bring to our audience?
Well, I assist people internationally online all over the world. I have been online for 14 years now. I've helped thousands of people to start doing exactly what I was talking about, which is finding some very, very powerful and accurate skills. They come in sets of very unusual questions. When you start asking yourself these questions, they rewire the synapses in your brain. And when that starts happening, you start getting new internal conversations where you're over, because all of us at times over logicalize, and all of us at sometimes feel overly emotional. And those two can really contradict each other in a magnificent dance inside of us. It's like a whirling dervish dance, going round and round and round. And so what I help people to do is to bring that extreme overthinking, that extreme overfeeling, those extreme judgments, especially about ourselves. But even when we're judging ourselves, we turn it out and we see the reflection of ourselves in other people and in other happenings. And that is what this process does, is I assist people to start new, powerful, accurate, heart-opening conversations from a place of manageability rather than extreme knee-jerk reaction or extreme overthinking and over-logicalizing. So I've helped people in terrorist attacks. I've helped people who are self-harming and not getting out of bed or eating or washing, writing suicide notes. And I've helped couples going through great difficulties, and right down to people with day-to-day communication challenges. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about this, please do feel free to contact me, because I know that I never look back after having lost a child to suicide. So if you'd like to know more, you can contact me at JENETTA, JENETTA, at theepiphanyprocess.com, or go to the epiphanyprocess.com website and you can contact me there as well. And then for anybody who, we've been talking about how our creative juices get enhanced when we step into our creative genius. And World Jenny's Day on the 10th of October every year does exactly that. And if you'd like to know more about World Jenny's Day, please do go to worldjennysday.com. And if you'd like to either participate or be behind the scenes and help us, because it's again going to be on this platform this coming year. We held it very successfully last year and doing much more. And if you'd like to be part of that, I'd love to invite you to come and step into your creative genius with us in 2023. And thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you, JENETTA, and I appreciate you being here. And I know yesterday you had a special offer for our audience. You're going to be available through the holidays for anyone. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I feel very passionately about it. I get a sense that now more than ever, people are even in more crisis than when we were in COVID, and even just past COVID. It feels like we've gone that one step further in the fallout of COVID. And so I want to be able to say to you that during these next 2 weeks, anybody who is in extreme crisis or crisis, who just doesn't know where to turn, and so often it's that I can't afford to contact anybody story that holds us back. If anybody out there is feeling overwhelmed, please do get hold of me at my email, JENETTA at theepiphanyprocess.com. And I will put time aside. I have the ability this Christmas to put time aside to be there for anybody in crisis, pro bono. So you just contact me.
Wow. What a great opportunity for people to reach out to you. Thank you for doing that, JENETTA.
It's an honor and a privilege for anybody who would like to take up that offer.
All right, there you have it, folks. JENETTA has put herself out there to help you, to assist you. Please do reach out. It's JENETTA, JENETTA, at The Epiphany, 2 E's, TheEpiphanyProcess.com. Is that right, JENETTA?
Yeah, there's a spelling mistake. I've just seen it for the first time. It's TheEpiphany process.com. There's not a first H.
Can you drop it into the chat,
yes,
please?
Let's do it there.
Yeah. All right. It's a good thing we found that out. All right. We are going to be signing off for our next show, and I will put the correct link in there for people to contact JENETTA. And JENETTA, thank you again for being here today.
Oh, just so wonderful to be here, and love your energy, love what we're creating. Can't wait to be with all of you again in another program, and just huge amounts of love and compassion and gentleness and understanding, and also much celebration over this next week. Lots of love to everyone.
All right. Thanks again, JENETTA. Bye for now. And to all of our viewers out there, I'm putting the correct link into the comments right now. Please do reach out to JENETTA. And I just want to give a little bit of recognition to 2 of our new team members. So if you're not aware, we have several teams here. We have the co-hosting team, the hosting team. We also have expert talking head presenters. We have elevated listeners panelists. So in order to become a team member, you must take the Power of Listening course. And once you graduate from that, you get certified as an elevated listener. So let us welcome Leanne Milton Lataka. She is from the British School of Excellence, Poland, and she is joining our team. So welcome to her. And then I also want to welcome another new team member, Kenley Davenport. Kenley is starting his own show here. It's a Chairman's Roundtable, and it's starting in February. So we're super excited to have them with us. Also, we're starting a new show next year called Food and Our Emotions. This was going to be a 6-part series, and it's now a 12-part series because we have so many people who are interested in helping us understand our relationship with food and our emotions. So we're going to be exploring food as from a restaurant perspective, food as a cooking perspective, food in terms of dysfunction that we may have in terms of our patterns of eating. We're going to be talking to farmers about how they actually grow their crops and what's involved with that. So stay tuned for more information. It's actually on our website, which is usaglobaltv.com. We have another new show starting, which is called The Listening Post. And this particular show is only for elevated listeners. So for example, JENETTA is an elevated listener. She would book in on this show, and it's going to be just a talk show where there's no subject. It's just 2 people getting together and talking about what they're doing and how listening is really a key integral part of our work and our personal lives. And then finally, I'm super excited to share with you that with my co-author, Mariska Duprier, over in New Zealand, we have 2 new books that are available. They are for children and for adults. This is The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor book series. It's a series of 7 books. 2 of them are out now. The first one on the left is available in ebook and paperback, coming soon hardback. The second one, Lady Ella's ABCs of Listening. This obviously is not the actual book cover, but it's available for pre-order, and it will be available in paperback and hardback January 14th. And then our third book is already in the process of being written, as is the 4th book. So do go over to Amazon if you would and take a look. These books focus on teaching elevated listening skills to children and their families, and the thing that's really unique about this is all of the animals that you see on both book covers represent real human beings, people who have taken the Power of Listening course and become certified. So for example, JENETTA is the white lion on the first book cover, and the lioness, I should say, the lioness name is Jacalyn, which means to listen. And the ladybug that you see there is actually Lady Ella, and she represents my great niece. And Lady Ella, I have to share this, because of her age, I'm not going to put the picture up, but she actually turned 1 this year. And my family sent me a picture of her reading the book with her picture for the dedication. And I literally just burst into tears. It's so sweet. Actually, I have the book here and I can share it with you. You can't see a lot of it because of the fact that there's green, but Lady Ella is in the dedication, and she actually was reading her own book, looking at herself, and it was just, I don't know how to express it, just brings everything to life about what's important. So thank you for listening to me. And if you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, it's so simple. Go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com. You'll see across the top, it has book your session. And actually, I'm just going to go there right now while we have a couple of minutes and just show you, because people will say to me that they're having problems with registering. So I'll just show you exactly what you have to do. And if you feel a movement within you that you want to go over and register right now, please feel free to do that. Okay, so here you see book your session. You're just going to go here and you're going to scroll down. And when you get down here, you'll see the various shows that we have. So let's say you wanted to be on Hot Topic, for example. You would just click on this and then look for the next available date and go to the date, click on that. Click on the time, click on book, and then you'll see over here, I had another show in here, so I'm going to delete that. You want to make sure you only have one show in here, because if you have more than one, you're probably going to get an error message. Then you're going to fill in your information. You're going to answer these questions. And when you come down here, if you haven't answered all the questions, for example, this is not going to light up. So if it doesn't light up, go back and look at what did you put in here. And of course, this is only a certain number of characters can go into each of these things. And then that's it. You'll get an email confirming the fact that you're booked, and you'll be ready to go. And we'll look forward to having you on the platform. So that's all for now. Thank you again for being here. And I look forward to seeing you for the United Kingdom News and Culture coming up shortly. Bye.